but for me, I will never again purchase those tests. Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is currently 11 DPO and I'm going to take you through all the symptoms I've felt and all the tests that I've done. So at 6 DPO there was still not a lot going on. I did write down that I had more watery CM, and I also wrote down that I had some tingly sensations going on, but that's actually something that normally happens at that time in my cycle. It's from a rise in progesterone. Not much else to add for 6 DPO, so let's get going to 7. 7 DPO, I once again noted that I had the watery CM. Continued. And I also put down that I had some anxious thoughts that day. I do definitely suffer from some anxiety, but if I took the time to note it, it was probably something more substantial than just my normal anxious thoughts. I also want to note that I felt a bit lightheaded that day, on and off. That's all I have for 7 DPO. Let's go to 8. For 8 DPO, I simply noted that I had a lot of CM. And I also had a headache on this day, so I made sure to note that as well. I decided to start testing this morning because, like I told you, I'm a very early tester, so let's get to it. Right, on to 9 DPO. My symptoms for that day were I had a little bit of light nausea on and off and some mild cramping in my abdomen. I also noted that I had a very vivid dream, and I remember it was a really bad dream. Other than that, so far in this cycle, I'm feeling relatively normal, minimal to no symptoms. To be honest, this is one of the cycles that I've shown or had the least pregnancy-like symptoms, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. All right, let's take a look at my test for 9 DPO. Okay, 10 DPO. Oh, do I have things to share about 10 DPO? Not sure what you personally think about the Clearblue tests, but for me, I will never again purchase those tests, and I'm gonna tell you all about what happened to me. I woke up and did my normal easy at home test, and I don't know what came over me, but I decided to give the Clearblue a try. I did get a positive with my daughter using the Clearblue early detection test the first time around. But, oh, I had the worst false positive. I'm just going to call it a false positive. This is what it looked like when I had just began the test. As you can see, there's a blue swirling cloud, and that cloud of blue swirl stayed for 10 minutes. So that's the whole test window, 10-minute test window. It stayed there the entire time, and just after the 10 minutes, it looked like this. I had to work this day, so I went to work thinking about this test the whole day, Googling things, searching through community chats and asking other women what they thought of my tests. And yeah, everyone was also saying that it looked like a early positive and that it didn't look like an evap line or an indent line. I don't know, I just really had myself believing in this. So I told myself I had another Clearblue test. It came with 2 in the pack. I said that the following day on 11 DPO, this morning, I said that I would take that second Clearblue as well and just see what it says. Honestly, I was so hopeful that it was gonna be positive because I was convinced, like, that's very convincing. It looks like a line. But all that being said, I think you can see where this is going. Let's take a look at how the Clearblue went this morning. But some interesting developments at 11 DPO. This morning I woke up with a very elevated temp, very unusual for me at this point in my cycle. And when I did my LH test as well, it had also risen. So it was really, really low before, and now it is currently a 0.48 today. As you can see from my chart, it's a pretty significant rise, which would be really, really unusual at this point in my cycle. So all this being said, I'm gonna remain hopeful. I will be testing again tomorrow at 12 DPO, and we'll see how it goes. This has definitely been the weirdest cycle I've had in a long time. It's just so interesting because my symptoms are minimal to like almost none at all. It's only me pulling things out so I can have something to share with you guys in this video. Honestly, my symptoms are so minimal this cycle. And then you know that false positive on the Clearblue was super disappointing. I'm sure a lot of you have been there and you've been fooled by that brand. And I was like ready to move on from this cycle and ready to let it go. But then this morning I got that temp rise. Oof, that temp rise is just out of nowhere. And now of course, here it is. I find myself believing again and having hope again. And hope is a good feeling, but what's not a good feeling is being let down when it's another negative test. So I'll see you tomorrow for 12 DPO and let's see how this goes. Well, this cycle did not end the way that I would have hoped. I know I'm not alone in this struggle, and I know that so many of you can relate. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and as always, we carry on. Here's to cycle number 8. See you guys next time.